When big Christian media companies walked away from local communities in favor of syndication, something really important was lost. Focus on what God is doing in our community. That's why the Cleveland Ministry Collective was born. We exist to strengthen and connect local ministries right here in Northeast Ohio. And one of the ways we do that is through the Third Place podcast, where we lift up local voices and share the stories that national platforms have now overlooked. If you believe local ministry still matters, would you consider investing in our new nonprofit, the Cleveland Ministry Collective? Lauren and I would be so grateful for your help as we try to launch this brand new ministry. Get your tax-deductible donation in today at clevelandministrycollective.org. That's clevelandministrycollective.org. And now, on with today's episode. This is the Third Place podcast, recording from the JLP CPA sponsored studio. I am Brian Dolan, and right next to me, you know her, you love her, Lauren Cuevas.
Do they? I think they're heroes for you. Home is your first place, work is your second place, and this is your third place where the Christian community gathers.
Today we have a very important conversation with our friend Kathy Nagel of Abigail Ministries about what do you do if you suspect your friend is in an abusive relationship or family member. And a lot of the advice she gives, based on research and experience, is counterintuitive. Yeah. So I think it's really important you take a listen to it. Also counterintuitive, how amazing dad jokes are, and women don't admit it.
No.
Yes. You know my joke theory.
What is it?
My joke theory is that jokes are not on a linear scale where you can go, this is a bad joke, this is an average joke, this is a good joke.
Okay, just a joke is a joke, you mean?
No, jokes, like humor is it's like a circle is the scale.
Okay.
So at the very top is really funny.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So really funny. Now you're moving down and it's not that there are jokes that are not funny, like no one laughs. But the worse a joke gets, you're curving back around, and this is why people laugh at really, really dumb jokes and really funny jokes the same.
And it's not because they're funny; it's just because they're bad.
No, it's so bad it's funny.
Oh, okay.
Like you're actually going, I can't believe I laughed at that, and it's kind of funny, and I don't want to admit it.
Yeah. And
that's where dad humor ends up.
It's on the way back around.
Yeah, like I've seen people get inspired. Like I shared a joke I'm about to share with you on my little morning show on Upliftd. But I also shared it. I've been sharing it with everybody I know. So I shared it with our friend Nick Gatsky of Old North Church.
Oh, no.
And it kind of...
And he has such a wealthy person laugh.
Yeah, and he laughed and he goes, yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to share that with my kids. And then he texted me a dad joke later that night. Like it inspired humor.
Yeah.
You see... When somebody tells a very clever, funny, like, wow, you're a brilliant humorist, it's not going to inspire me to be funny.
Humorist.
Because I can't match that.
No, me neither.
But if the goal is to be as dumb as possible, I mean...
You can go there.
Yeah. So, okay, get ready.
I'm ready.
And you don't have to be involved in this. You just have to receive it.
Okay.
A slice of apple pie in Jamaica is $2.
Okay.
A slice of apple pie in the Bahamas is $2.50. And those are the pie rates of the Caribbean.
Oh my God.
Okay, you're still laughing. Isn't that good? Did you really like it?
No.
But why'd you laugh? Because I laughed?
Yes.
Lauren, the pie rates of the Caribbean.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. You should tell it to Daria that's her favorite movie. They gotta save it for when she comes.
Oh, I should have saved it.
I think she's here tomorrow. We should tell her.
Now, here's the thing. I can almost guarantee that at some point today, you're going to tell that joke.
To who?
Eddie. You're going to say, Brian told this dumb joke. I have to tell it to you. Now, you're saying it's dumb.
He really likes the Pirates of the Caribbean, too, so maybe he'll like it. I'll try it.
Should I record
him? Should I record him while I do it?
I would love that if you did that. Okay, yes, okay. Like I've seen you do it. You set up your phone and he's like in his pajamas, a little unkept.
Yes.
You did that awesome one on our social media stream. People can check out.
Yeah, where I asked him things about me, like, would I be the first in a zombie apocalypse to die, or like, would I be the leader? And he laughed out loud, which is so mean.
Let's just cover that briefly before we get to Kathy here.
Okay.
He didn't think you'd be the leader?
Not in a zombie apocalypse.
So everyone can hear the sirens.
It's okay.
I'm
sorry we live in a society.
So I feel like you'd be a little bossy during a zombie apocalypse. Although you're a little like more jumpy than people realize.
Yeah, I'm jumpy. Wow. Big problem. Big emergency.
They heard my joke and they needed to be shared with all of Cuyahoga Falls.
Big emergency.
Like, are we okay? Should we evacuate?
No. I'm a little bit jumpy and I'm very not violent. So if the tactic in a zombie apocalypse is to like harm them, it's not going to be me.
Really?
Yeah.
I would. Did you ever watch those zombie shows?
I would. No.
None of them.
No.
What's the Walking Dead's the famous one, right? Yeah. I always laughed at people would choose a weapon essentially.
Yeah.
And I don't know why everyone wasn't walking around with swords. Like the sword lady was winning at life.
Right.
Someone else has like a stick.
Or a stick, yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not going to be one, like I'm not a fighter.
You're a lover, not a fighter?
I don't even know if I'm that.
It's a Michael Jackson quote.
What
would I be? Would I be a leader?
No.
Don't laugh when you say it.
Me and you both would follow whoever the leader is really well in a zombie apocalypse. We'd be like, yeah, okay, just like, what weapons do we need?
Like, we would recognize leadership is needed.
Yes.
Someone needs to be in charge here.
It just could not be either me or you.
And someone needs to be killing these zombies.
And you know who it's going to be?
You can usually pick them out.
Who's it going to be?
Sarah and Eddie.
Sarah. Yeah. Sarah would absolutely be the leader. And Sarah would be like, okay, Brian, Lauren, go get those weapons and let's go. And we'd be like, okay.
We'd be like, got your back.
Yes, Sarah. We're going.
And we would be
good followers and follow the rules and do what we're asked.
Because people with good leadership ability know how to be good followers as well.
Yes.
Do you see us lifting ourselves up here in value?
I didn't. You did that.
Somebody needs to follow in a zombie apocalypse.
Leaders are good listeners.
Yes, they are. And they know when to delegate when someone else has better leadership qualities.
That's right. Yeah.
And also,
Sarah would be really good in that circumstance. Me, not so much.
We'd just be the last ones to be killed because we'd be avoiding the danger then. But we'd look very busy.
Yes.
This is one of my great gifts.
We're cleaning swords. We're giving other people like, here, look, this sword's good.
There's another one. Here.
Yeah, let me go get it for you.
Wait, someone needs to get that? I'll go get it. Here I go. Bye.
Yeah, we can be leaders in different ways. It's not a zombie apocalypse way.
We'd be leading the way and not dying.
That's right.
Or having to actually kill zombies.
I would be happy to follow Sarah's instructions in a zombie apocalypse.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sarah would not disagree with this at all. There's been many times where I'm so either unaware and aloof or not handling the panic well.
Yeah. She handles panic very well.
She does. It's incredible.
She'd know exactly what to do with the zombies. I'd be like, I've never met a zombie. I don't know how to handle them.
And I'd constantly be saying, thanks. That one almost got me. Were it not for you, I would be slowly dying of a zombie disease.
Sarah says, grab the sword and slice their heads off. Okay, I can do that.
No, I would go, what? And then she'd go, here. And then she'd get it.
That's nice.
Close one.
I just need her to tell me what to do, and I can do it.
You would just run away, right?
No, I'd be fighting. I'm just not the leader of the fight.
You'd fight if you were absolutely compelled to do so.
Yeah, if you needed me to, like, they're attacking us, this is the only way, sure.
Okay. All right. We've resolved that.
Yeah.
What does it have to do with our interview?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. Yeah. So with that, don't call us in the zombie apocalypse.
No.
And here's our friend, Kathy Nagel. Joining us now on the Third Place podcast, our dear friend, Kathy Nagel, who is a licensed professional clinical counselor with Abigail Ministries.
I think you got it.
Did I get the label correct?
You did. Yes, you did.
Yes. Licensed, because, again, we talked about it last time, but I get so stressed out. You get so many letters in your suffix.
Letters.
And so Abigail Ministries is one of our dear friends, and we love to talk about this issue. And I know it sounds strange, say we love to talk about domestic violence. But I think it's such an important issue for Christians. And as you've talked about before, it's prevalent in the church, even though we don't want to admit it. And so we like to expose difficult topics, and so that we can shine a light on it and hopefully make sure people get help when they need it.
Right.
And today's topic is so good, Kathy, because there's a lot of counterintuitive things with this. And it has to do with, like, let's say you suspect a friend of yours is dealing with some sort of domestic abuse, whether it's emotional, spiritual, whatever it might be, physical. What you want to do is you want to swoop in, rescue them, and run away. I'm assuming that's a bad idea.
Right. Yep, you're right. And just to interject something, if you think of it as domestic violence, I noticed you said abuse, which is a more descriptive term. A lot, especially in the Christian community, it may not be violence, but now the new language that people are using is coercive control. And maybe another time we'll just talk about that. But if you even suspect that your friend is, being coercively controlled, it doesn't have to be physical. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. But
see.
But they are really in a state of probably trauma, and so they're not always going to be reacting as you would expect or hope, and you may want to go in and rescue them, but that's not going to be the safest or healthiest thing to do.
Now, what if the person doesn't even, maybe not even be aware of the fact that they're in an abusive situation? How do you bring it up?
Brian, you are so sharp. Because that is the first thing.
Lauren, why don't you ever say that?
She said it.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's the very first thing in what I was going to talk about. I mean,
Oh,
that
I
is
didn't even
really,
know that.
Yeah, I know. That's amazing.
Lauren,
Good listener.
what do you think,
You're a
Lauren?
good listener.
Thanks.
Well, anyhow, that is quite often the case. If to exist in that situation, you have to be somewhat in denial. You have to be like making excuses for the person, and just not really dealing with the reality. And so it's quite or if they grew up in a home where it was like that, then they think this is the normal type of relational dynamic. So they may not know that they are even being abused. And you can just help them by asking questions. It's I don't know. It's like just trying to be there for them. If you start talking to them and reacting to what they say strongly, that's not going to work. You really have to tread gently and just kind
Okay.
of ask to listen, and let them feel that they have a safe place to talk.
And that's hard to
Because
do if you're worried about abuse, because you want to go in there and go, don't you see it? He's abusing you. You got to get out of there.
Right, exactly. And pushing them to do something too quickly is dangerous. I mean, that's another thing with having a friend that's in that situation. It's complicated because it could be dangerous, and it's whatever she tells you, it's likely to be a lot worse than she's saying.
Oh.
Not because she's lying, just that she's ashamed or she doesn't see it as serious as it is. And so what you're hearing is pretty much the tip of the iceberg.
Boy,
And
so
that's tough.
what's behind the idea that somebody may not be fully aware of how bad it is?
Well, there's certain defense mechanisms or coping mechanisms, and so they naturally, if they think that they are going to have to stay, then they're going to make the best of it, and protect their mental health by reacting and denying. I mean, it's just that's a pretty normal response to trauma, is denial. And the other thing that's difficult is that when a woman is in that situation, she's like routinely being traumatized. And that can result in her like speaking incoherently sometimes, or just repeating the same things over and over again in this heightened state. And sometimes that can be frustrating as a friend, because you're like, okay, I've heard that before. Now, let's talk about something more or whatever. But the person is kind of like a deer in headlights all the time. They're not usually their abuser's intention is to just totally keep them off balance. And usually that means that they are not going to be as credible talking about it as they would like to be, or that you would hope that they would be, because they've got this undercurrent of angst going on 24/7. And so one of the most important things you can do is believe what they say.
Okay. So go in gently, ask questions, know
Right.
it's probably the tip of the iceberg, and believe them.
Absolutely. That's a huge thing to be validated, because that helps them to get out of denial, and that's important too. And they're like, it's also important as a friend to realize that that your friend's behavior may be being monitored, or their activity. And so you might want to say, let's be careful when we're texting back and forth, or on email. Let's plan to just talk in person, because it's in most instances the abuser is monitoring their electronic devices.
Do you think it's the job of the friend to report this to, whether it's like legal authorities or someone else, like a family member who may be able to step in? Do you think that's the right
Well,
kind of
I
place
don't
to
think
go?
I think that if the children are being harmed and she's sharing that with you, yes, then that may be a reasonable choice to make to protect the children. But generally, you wouldn't want to force the issue too quickly, because if she's not prepared, she's not going to be safe.
Yeah.
And also, uh, if she does make some dramatic move, and then, or as a consequence of intervention, that like police or whatever, then if she goes back, she's going to be in more danger than she
Right.
was before. So that it's tricky, but it doesn't, but God has a heart for the oppressed, and to just think, oh, this is too complicated, I'm not going to get involved, is
Yeah.
probably not what God has in mind for you as her friend.
Yeah, I heard of someone who, it was her brother who was the abuser, and she was trying to protect her sister-in-law and her nieces and nephews, and she just didn't know, like, that's my brother, but he's being abusive. How do I go about this? How do I help her?
Yeah, and this is the issue, right, Kathy? I mean, because some people go, well, I just can't get involved, it's not my problem, or they go in and try to act like they're the police. And
Absolutely.
Right.
and those extremes are clearly not the helpful thing.
Absolutely. You're
So,
right.
I mean, how would you advise Lauren's friend on that?
Well, for one thing, I would resist her telling her sister-in-law what to do. It's because that is just someone else controlling her.
Yeah.
Then,
Oh gosh,
and
you don't
and
think of it
that's
that way, though, right?
Yeah.
right. You think you're helping, and it is true. You're making the assumption that she's not thinking clearly, and she's not. But you're just coming in and giving her one more person to answer to, and so that's not the, how you would want to do it. What you might want to do is just like to remember that she's got to live with the consequences. So instead, you might want to try to say, like, what can we do about this? What could you do? What are some of your choices? How could you, first of all, let's talk about your safety, and how you might, let's think of a safety plan. Like, what would you do if things got extremely dangerous? Like if there were weapons in the house. Well, there's always knives, but I mean, and just, talk to her about that. Like, well, what kinds of things would you do, and how would you prepare for that? And because she's the one that's going to experience the consequences, so she's got to be the one that
Yeah.
makes the decision.
Lauren and I want to take a brief moment before we continue today's episode to thank our sponsors. First of all, did you know I have a brand new morning show? That's right, it's called Uplifted Mornings with Brian, and our sponsor is Upliftd Stream from KHCB Media Group. We're so grateful for their sponsorship and their attention to my new morning show, Check it out weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. Central, 7 to 9 Eastern. We have a lot of music, worship music. We've got scripture. I have devotional thoughts, try to share some funny stories, dad jokes, Bible quizzes, things like that. For more information how you can listen to my new morning show on the Upliftd stream, just go to upliftedstream.org. That's upliftedstream.org, or just download the KHCB mobile app. We also want to thank our sponsor, JLP CPAs. If you're a small business owner, you already wear dozens of hats. You don't want to have to worry about things like taxes, payroll, financial reporting, budgets, balance sheets, all those kinds of things. Let our friends at JLP CPAs take care of that for you. They're a firm focused on small businesses. They're a local Northeast Ohio company, and you ought to check them out so that you can focus on what you're good at in your small business. For more information, go to jlpcpas.com. Again, jlpcpas.com. And finally, we'd like to thank our friend David Safransky and Edgewater Investment Group for being a sponsor of today's episode. Have your finances been overwhelming? Are you stressed about your future? You should talk to Dave and his team at Edgewater Investment Group. They'll help you with things like budgeting, retirement, investing, and they'll be honest and straightforward. So you want more information about how you can get connected and get their help with your future financially? Go to edgewaterig.com. Again, that's edgewaterig.com. Thanks again to our sponsors, and now we'll keep going with today's episode. Yeah, it's so easy to view this as like I'm helping this person. And yet at the end of the day, many of our actions and decisions are selfish in nature. Like, I want you to be safe, so I'm going to get involved here when we have to put them first.
Yeah, and it also, you're starting to put that person, like, you start viewing them as helpless, and they're not helpless. They're not just like some injured deer on the side of the road.
Yeah.
They're in a really hard situation. They're not helpless, though, and we can't start looking at them like they're helpless.
So what's a good safety plan then?
Well, just a second. They believe they're helpless.
Yeah.
Because in trauma they feel powerless.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so part of that is helping them to find their power and empowering them. Like just saying, instead of saying you should do this and that, like brainstorm with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of your options? Let's look at what are some options and start to let your power and a sense of volition or whatever carry over into her so that she starts to feel like herself again and that she has choices. And then in terms of your question, Brian, with the safety plan, there are a lot of them online. All you have to do is text domestic violence safety plan. But some of the things are, like, one thing would be to have a spare key to the car outside of the house, somewhere like under a rock or whatever, or at your neighbor's, so that if something really escalated quickly, that you could exit. And another thing would be to have a change of clothes for everyone and all your paperwork, in terms of like all the kids' social security numbers, yours, any bank account information bank numbers you can get, and store that somewhere at a friend's.
Wow.
So that if you would have to leave suddenly, that you would be able to, and you would, have identification for everyone and some clothing and those kinds of things. That's part of the safety plan. There's lists galore online, so they could check into that.
So it would seem to me, at least intuitively, that once a safety plan is made, that could actually give some confidence to the person being abused.
Right. And making it is tough. Like, I see that a lot of women will avoid it because it's like the reality is getting closer and closer to, they know that they need to do something, but it's always kind of out there. And when you start actually making concrete plans and making copies of papers and stuff, it's really overwhelming, because you've been powerless for so long that it's like, whoa, this is a lot of responsibility I'm taking on. And so it's a lot of times they'll look at the safety plans, but then not follow through. So but eventually it takes 4 or 5 times for a woman, even when she leaves, sometimes she'll go back and then leave
4 or
again and
5
whatever.
times. Ugh.
Yeah.
So maybe you could be the friend that houses all her documents or her extra car keys or whatever, and that's a way you can
Absolutely.
support her.
Right.
Wow.
And you could like come over and get her if
Yeah.
if she doesn't have the car keys or whatever. That's a big help. And when you mentioned Lauren about the brother, I would think in a sibling case even more so, you might, just a normal siblings start to attack the brother's character and
Right.
personality. And while that may be everything you say may be true, the natural response of the person that's living in denial will be to defend him.
Well, yeah, it's like,
So,
that's my husband or that's my boyfriend or whatever. Don't, you do love
ri-
him. There's a reason
right,
you're with him.
Yeah.
right, right. And so, the better thing to do is to just zero in on the behavior. Just say, that that was just totally inappropriate, or that sounds dangerous to me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you afraid in that situation? Or how are your children reacting to this? Like, focus it all on the behavior rather than a character. It's so much easier to say, oh, he is such a
He's
jerk.
such a jerk.
It's
He's
way
always been a
easier.
jerk. He was a jerk to me when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad
Yeah.
you're pointing that out, because you're right. The easiest thing to do is those ad hominem personal attacks, when what the person needs more is that gentle guidance to see it themselves. It's what it sounds like.
Right, right.
That's
And
hard.
also, yeah, it is hard, but that way you're not attacking him, because that will
Yeah.
like put up a wall that she's not going to tell you stuff because she knows you don't like him,
Yeah.
or that you've already got your mind made up that he's a jerk, and that's it. So just talking about the behavior continues your conversation and dialogue a little bit better, I think.
Well,
But
this makes me think even of, I've been listening to the new season of Revisionist History with Malcolm Gladwell, and it's called Alabama Murders, the Alabama Murders. And in it, there's a whole in-depth look at a denomination in the church. I think it's the Church of Christ.
Yeah.
And they say this fascinating phrase in there where it's easier to get forgiveness is what the joke is, they say. It's easier to get forgiveness in the Church of Christ for killing someone than getting divorced.
wow.
But I think
Wow.
that's a window into some of the abuse we've seen over the years in the church, and how we don't believe victims of abuse in the church.
Right.
Not even, maybe we believe them, but we just think they need to suck it up and deal with it.
It's either of those. It's like, well, I don't know, maybe it's not so bad. Or, you've got to stay married, you got to stay
Well, he
married.
tithes 25%. I doubt he's beating his wife. Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, you brought this up before, but and again, we're talking about abusive husbands, because that's Abigail Ministries. So if somebody wants to put a comment about the other, yeah, it happens both ways, but we're not talking about that. But a lot of these guys are really putting on a front at church. They're like the most liked guy
yeah.
at church.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny. I mean, not funny, but sad. But even in support groups, the commonality of the men, that they're like the hero of the neighborhood that goes and shovels the older woman's driveway. They're the ones that volunteer at church. Sometimes they're in positions of influence in the church. And that might even be a whole nother session that we could talk about. What can churches do, with what, with when they're confronted with this?
Yeah, we
But
definitely should do that, Kathy, because that's a big
Okay.
issue.
Okay, we will for sure. Excuse me. But the other thing is, and this could be in the church, this could happen in the church, but also in the friendship relationship, is excusing the behavior either because of drug or alcohol abuse, or a really traumatic childhood that the person had, or health issues or whatever. And that is, they usually have some kind of issue that's like, often it's, they grew up in a very abusive family themselves, the abuser. And so they do have those issues, and they may have alcohol, or they may have drug abuse, but those are not the issue here. And that abuse under any circumstances is inexcusable. It shouldn't be accepted just because of a person's other mental health issues or drug dependency, addiction issues.
Now, to go with this, I've seen a lot of skepticism among Christians on social media and such worried about false accusations.
Yeah.
So what's your reaction to that where someone goes, well, we got to be careful if a woman comes to us because what if she's making it all up?
My thinking on that, as well as the other people who are experts and in the research, is that if anything, the woman minimizes it. What the pastor is hearing or what the friends are hearing initially is the tip of the iceberg, because the woman she's defensive, like she's thinking she's in a situation, she's telling people this, and she feels like she has to defend what she's saying as true, which is an uncomfortable place to be, or she's afraid to trust them. Or she's ashamed of that she's even allowed this to happen. So she's not telling the whole story. That's true, but the story that she's not telling is that it's much worse.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear you say that because I get so frustrated. There was a whole era, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, where it's like the rest of the world is saying believe the victim, and the church is like, well, I don't know about that. It's false accusations. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Because what we're not doing is we're not defending the oppressed. I mean, maybe there's a wild case of a sociopath throwing around false accusations. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I have seen them where statistically it almost never happens. So we should, I think, as a default, and you can correct my theology on this, believe a victim. That's our default.
Yeah, I think so, because if someone is being abused, they need to be protected, and that needs to be called out against, and they need to get safe. And if it's a false accusation, there will be proof that it was a false accusation. If there's an investigation, you're going to see that there was nothing happening, and so.
Well, somebody might say, well, then why don't we default to not believing the victim then, just in case?
Because in the instance where someone's being falsely accused, no one is being physically harmed for their life.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe their character is being called out, and maybe they may have to do some rebuilding, that their character is being, tarnished, but they're physically safe. A person who is saying that they're being abused is not physically safe. Their life is in danger.
Yeah, and I don't really understand how we've elevated marriage and divorce so high above abuse.
I don't know.
Isn't it wild?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
From what you've just said, there's a couple of things. There's just a natural power differential in the physicality differences between men and women, and that has to be considered. And the other thing is, I have worked with women whose husbands go in and complain vehemently about their wife.
Right.
And the wife is only because they're trying to head off the wife. Yeah. So that dynamic comes too, and it's difficult. So that's why, as a friend, part of what you can do is support that friend by going with her. Like say, if you want to talk to the pastors, I have observed some of this behavior, I will go with you. Or if it comes down to the court or the police or whatever, I'll come with you, or I'll, someone I know will come with you. Because that gives them a lot more confidence that they're just not there sitting in front of someone who doesn't really know the story, and it's just kind of grounding for them. And so just your presence helps to empower them.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to speak for them, but you're going to validate what they say.
Yeah, what you said about just even a physical power difference, me and my husband, we're about the same size, we're probably about the same weight, and I've been doing Pilates, so I'm very strong. I'm very strong. And just yesterday, we were just being silly, and I was trying to stop him from getting this package on the porch, and he just shoved me around. I was just a little feather in the wind, and I was like, wait, I am super strong. And so imagine if there's even a greater power differential, or he's even anger is coming out of that too, not silliness, and how much power you can have when you're angry is so much more than just a normal power. And if he's much bigger person than her too. There's
Just-
just like not much you can do.
Absolutely.
One more reason to believe someone
Yeah.
who's making the accusations they're being abused.
Yeah.
Believe them.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard?
I don't know.
It's so frustrating for me because
Yeah.
time and again you hear stories about this happening in the church where someone says, I'm being abused, and somebody in the church goes, well, I don't know about that.
I would rather be on the side of saying I supported someone who said that they were being abused and found out that it wasn't true, and then I have to go and apologize to the person that it wasn't true about, that I believed that about them.
Yeah.
Than saying that this woman who was abused, I just let her get, get the crap beaten out of her. I'd rather be on that side.
So is that somebody that's elevating truth and lie over like violence and abuse?
Maybe.
Like they're going,
I have to follow the truth.
yeah, and I can't have an opinion until I know
the truth.
100%
Maybe.
the truth.
That's a good thought.
And
Maybe.
that's messed up too.
That is messed up.
You're right. That's a really good insight.
And I mean, and not that truth doesn't matter, but as our friend Dr. Michael Rydelnik said, he doesn't like the phrase choose the lesser of two evils. He
Right.
likes choose the greater good.
Yeah.
And I like that,
Right, that's
that
great.
conception because, okay, maybe there's a lie, maybe there's abuse. The greater good is protecting the abused,
Yes.
not searching for some philosophical reality.
Truth. Yeah.
So, man,
Well, I really like
good.
considering abuse in that context.
isn't that good though?
That
'Cause
is, yeah.
I can't
yeah,
claim it because it's not mine, but choose the greater good, not the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I just wrote that down.
Yeah,
I like it.
you can write Michael Rydelnik behind it because
Okay.
that's because people would always talk about that because there's this conception even back from the Holocaust where there were Christians who, if they were hiding Jews in their home,
Yeah.
would say, well, if someone asks me, I have to say they're here. Come on in, they're here.
No, you don't. You're protecting lives.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
Wow.
go ahead. The greater good is to protect lives and lie to that Nazi's face.
Yeah, because he's doing evil, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But we've created these difficult moral dilemmas that actually aren't that hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
Right.
believe the abused. Okay?
Yeah.
Not hard.
Yeah. Really.
So this has been so helpful. And we always like to, when we talk with you, Kathy Nagel, to make sure folks know if someone's watching this and they're saying, okay, I need either advice on how to help my friend, or I think I might be in an abusive relationship, how do they reach out to Abigail Ministries?
They can call our phone number, which is 440-281-7136. And that is a connection to joint support groups, et cetera. We do have Zoom support groups twice a month. And boy, the conversations are really great. You don't have to participate, but generally people come in and they're a little quiet. But after they start hearing everyone talk, they're like, they can't believe that all these people are having the same experience. And it's talk about empowering. It's very empowering because it's other women supporting other women who are in these abusive relationships. And some people that are in the group are still with their abusers. Some have left. Some have left after a long time, and some were married like 40 years, and some like 10. And it's just really the interaction with each other is amazing.
So give it a try. If you're wondering, just give it a try. It's a support group. You can do it. It's digital, right? You don't even have to go anywhere.
Right. You don't have to go anywhere. And some women even just do it in their cars on their phone, like just get away from the house and do it, so that they can, they don't have to get dressed up and go somewhere, and they don't have the drive time.
Yeah.
Well, and we can say with confidence that the Lord Jesus hates abuse, particularly in a marriage
Absolutely.
relationship. And he wants you to be safe. So
Absolutely.
please consider getting help. Abigail Ministries is a wonderful partner. And Lord willing, somebody will show up and say, Brian and Lauren told me to be there. So go ahead and use
They
this as
have
your
in the
excuse.
past, so
Well, Kathy Nagel, thank you so much. We
thank
always
you,
love having you on
both
the
of
show.
you.
And you can
I
always
love
connect
being
with
here.
us if you didn't get a chance to write some of that down, you need some help, or you want to learn more about what we're doing.
Yep, you can go to stainedglass-media.com to find our other podcasts, and you can also become a sponsor of this podcast. You can also go to clevelandministrycollective.org, and you can find Abigail Ministries there.
All right. Thanks again, Kathy.
Thank you.
That'll
Take
do
care
it
of
for
both of you.
today's
you.
episode of the Third Place
Thanks.
Podcast. Hey, before you go, don't forget, this episode was made possible through our brand new nonprofit, the Cleveland Ministry Collective. If you want to support our efforts to connect and uplift Northeast Ohio ministries, would you consider a tax-deductible donation? We could really use your help launching our new ministry. Give today at clevelandministrycollective.org. That's clevelandministrycollective.org. Talk to you next time.